Amit Mansur asks, any funny stories about the IFGC or any streaming moments? First question from Amit. Okay. Now, I have another video that I made around the 500,000 views mark where I touch on a few funny things, including Ladies Night. And if you haven't heard about the IFGC Ladies Night, you should definitely check that one out, because that is probably still the funniest thing that happened. But more recently, I have to say, funny things happen when we travel the IFGC. Funny things happen a lot when we travel. There's alien headbutting and granny. I'm not going to go into that too much, but that did happen. Let me think, other things that happen. Oh, okay, I know the one I want to talk about. The really funny one. Recently, we were at Hype Spotting, and it was shortly after the referendum in Scotland for independence, which was narrowly enough defeated. We were at the pub quiz, and a couple of drinks had been taken, as happens these things. Some comment was made about the Irish table, so we started chanting, "We've our country! We've a country!" And I could see some of the Scottish people looking around us going, "You did not go there. We were quite drunk and we were enjoying it." So that was fun. God, now to think about it. Sorry guys, sorry, but you started it. Yeah, funny things do happen when you travel, so that was a great one. Or another story, we were in Cannes again, we were at Cannes Winter Clash, not the Cannes Fighting Festival, because, anyway, we were at Cannes, and there was a bunch of us there, and there was a couple more joining us later, and I was in the bunch that arrived early, because I usually take it as a proper full-blown holiday. And we were ordering pizza 2 or 3 nights in a row, and of the people who were there, I was one of the people with the better French. My French is terrible, but so there was 2 or 3 of us, and we were trying to make orders for pizzas over the last couple of nights, and the pizza from this place was really good, which is why we kept going back from it. But the orders were always, without fail, wrong. Doesn't matter how hard we tried, how simple we made it, but we always failed. Now, on the 3rd day that we were there, Voa, a native French speaker, was with us. And we were like, "Voa, it's your time to shine. Order us some pizza and make sure, get us the pizza." And Voa, to be fair, he orders the pizza in fluent French. And we were all like, "Yeah, I'm gonna eat me the crap out of this." And arrives, it's all wrong anyway. Turns out it wasn't that they weren't misunderstanding us, they were just really, really incompetent. I am so disappointed when those pizzas showed up wrong. It's the little things. It's the little things. Oh, and then there was the time that Doyle got himself locked in the toilet. That's pretty much all there is to it. Doyle got himself locked in the toilet. He had to punch his way in the toilet. Oh yeah, and Chopper once kicked Ryan Hart out of a room. Okay, next question. Oh no. Any streaming moments? Alright, I got 2 that I would like to mention at the moment. First is, in case you don't know, the community manager for League of Legends, Sharon, now resides in Ireland. He shows up, and he's a big fighting game fan, and he shows up for Street Fighter 4 tournaments quite a bit. And whenever he gets on stream, he tends to tweet it out first, as a good, responsible, known player does. And when he does, all the League of Legends fans show up in my stream. Might be hundreds, maybe even a couple of thousand of them, and they're all like, "Oh, Sharon, 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 Sharon," and they're so hyped for him. And I'm sitting there going, "Sharon, whatever you do, do not lose. Do not lose this fight. I want these guys to stay." He's gotten me a load of subscribers on Twitch over the past few years. It's gas. Well, my favourite streaming moment in recent years, I'm going to be a bit selfish about this one. We were up in the north, and it was a pretty stacked tournament with some good players. And I, to be fair to myself, played out my skin, probably the best I've ever played in tournament conditions, and I got second in that tournament. And I was coming from losers, so I was almost constantly playing. I was never checking on the stream, I was never looking at what was going on. when I went back to the stream, the people who were watching, and there was a good amount. There was an amount enough that the stream chat was constantly running, if you know what I mean. But they were all going on it. They created their own meme around me called the Doom Train, and there was people just going choo choo whenever I was beating someone. It was like, oh, the Doom Train is running. I don't know if one of the commentators said something about it, but they were all like, oh yeah, it's getting up speed now. Look at, there goes the Doom Train, all this kind of stuff. It was brilliant. And I've never, you see, because I play Guile, I play a boring character, and I usually do fairly well in the locals, so it's not like people are usually up for me or anything. So it was really nice to see something like that happen. Okay, opinions on Street Fighter V. Okay, I have two opinions on Street Fighter V that are related and kind of mixed and hard to extrapolate from each other. I'm a bit worried about some of the ideas that are being used to balance Street Fighter V at the moment. But not to balance the design choices, okay? So, all the scrubbier or newer players complain about the strong Vortex game and the strong mix-up game. So Capcom go, alright, we'll remove that, we'll put in a few roll options, DW, whatever, I'm use that. But really weakened it to the point that there's very, very little of that in the game at all. Very, very little indeed. Bear in mind, I am not a mix-up oriented player. So when I say that I'm worried about how little it is, that really should be an indication of how much they've removed it, like how much. And then other people who are the same people, by the way. Same people, because it's the same people who don't go, oh, I'm going to adapt and try and beat this, who just complain about it. The same people say, oh, zoning, it's just too much zoning, it's too hard to deal with it. You focus through 90% of the zoning in Street Fighter 4. Neutral jumping. Anyway, block forward block, you know. I've started playing Cammy in the last few months and I've had to do it, so... Anyway. So, Capcom's response to that was, okay, well, we'll really, really nerf the zoning game. Bear in mind this is a pre-Fang opinion, because he does change this a little bit, right? But what it seemed for quite a while to me was that they'd left it this absolutely, like it was all damage output and footsies. And that is great, and to be honest, it might even play to some of my strengths. I think the footsies are alright. But I don't think over the long term that that's a very interesting idea for a game. You've got to have other things in it, as brilliant as footsies are. So I was a bit worried about that, but some of the Fang changes things up a bit because looks like a strong zoning character. So, it depends. I think they're kind of on a razor's edge there. And if they do everything just right, it could be really, really good, really footsies, really solid game. But if they just go a bit too far with draining all the other options, because to be honest, Scrubs didn't like them, then they'll be left with nothing. And you know what? When you take everything away, when you're left with just that very strong footsies, high damage output game, what you're left with is one thing that the Scrubs are going to complain about. Game is too footsies oriented. That's what they're going to say. Because the truth is, these people will just complain about whatever is strong. And when you take the other stuff away, you're just making what's left stronger. So I'm a bit concerned about that entire design strategy that's being employed there. Well, you know, Capcom Ultra, mad balanced. AE 2012, mad balanced. They know better than I do. So I don't want to say, oh, I'm really worried, because I'm not that worried. Played the beta, it's a lot of fun. Let's see what they do. Looking pretty good. Just had to have a bit of a moment about the one thing I don't like about it, really. Okay, last question from Ahmed. Do you think that people will keep playing Ultra Street Fighter 4 and divide the community like Smash and Melee? Okay, here's the thing. People will still play Ultra Street Fighter 4, and no way will it divide the community, because Smash is just weird like that. I'm a Street Fighter 2 player. I played Street Fighter Alpha. Do you know what game I play now? Street Fighter 4, and happily, if there's a Street Fighter 2 tournament, you know what I do? I also play in that. And I don't insult Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter Alpha. I do occasionally insult Third Strike, but that's mainly because it's really a lot of fun to annoy Third Strike players. Do you know what? Third Strike is a great game and a beautiful game. However, it's not my type of game. I don't like what parry does to a lot of mechanics that I enjoy. But you know what? I just don't play it. And even then, I do play it from time to time. Like if there's a side tournament and I have the time, I'll enter it. I entered it in Celtic Throwdown and I was streaming that. Alright? So, there's something very strange with the Smash community in the way that they allow the release of a new game to segregate them. Guys, just play the games. Play them all, it's great. They're brilliant. So no, it really won't. We'll all play Street Fighter 5. Most of us will still play Street Fighter 4. No division. Okay, Rory Shorten asks a good question. Taking a look at competitive gaming in Ireland, where do we fall down and what do we do well? This is a very, very good question. Now, I'm going to handle it from my perspective. So, streaming, community management, that type of thing. So, I'm not going to talk about people practicing together and stuff like that because that's up to people to do on their own, and it's not stuff that as a community my words can really affect or have any right to. If you want to win, practice more. Find the right people to play your bad matchups or your good strats, depending on what type of competitive game that you were talking about. And that side is kind of looking after itself as people are starting to learn this and doing it more and more. And I'm going to look at things from my perspective because, among other things, you might not know, but I'm a qualified digital marketer. And one of the things that I think we do really poorly in Ireland at the moment is that our content management and the promotion of our scenes and how we present the videos and content and streams that we've made is overall very poor. I'd go as far as to say that I'm the best one doing it in the country, and I'm one man doing it on my own, and I often fail at what I want to achieve when I'm talking about making sure that the people who need to see these things do see them, promotion in advance, trailers, the drip feeding of content onto YouTube, posting it in the right places, making sure the right people see them. I mean, I don't think anyone is doing any of that stuff, really, except for me. Oh, we have a stream of this match on. Yeah? Okay. Well, why don't you tell me when the archive's on YouTube? And if I do a search for it, why isn't it tagged well? Why aren't we having conversations about competitive gaming on Twitter so other people can see us doing loads of stuff like this? And it's just not happening. And when it does happen, it's very disorganized and there's no plan. And you need a social media plan if you want this stuff to work well. So this is very important stuff and it's not happening right now. And it does need to for competitive gaming to grow. So, of course, that's the negative side. The positives, we have a lot of very passionate people about competitive gaming in Ireland. We have a small scene, but it's a dedicated scene, and a lot of us know each other. Though I know a lot of the guys in the other scenes. We have a lot of tournaments, we have a lot of stuff going on all the time. We go out, we meet each other, we play. We don't just live online. We don't have that many, like in other countries they have a problem getting people off their arses and into events, and proportionally that number of people here is very low compared to what it's like in the States. So that's people care right now. The thing is, we lack proper, I don't want to say leadership because I don't think that's the right term. We lack proper management of the resources that we have. Another problem with competitive gaming in Ireland is it's to do with gaming overall in Ireland. Ireland is currently stuck somewhere in the mid-noughties in their attitude towards video games. Have you ever tried to look for sponsorship for tournaments? There's like 2 or 3 companies that will give it to you, and they're international companies like Red Bull and whatever, who are doing it in all the other countries. I mean, I've had one Irish sponsor. And that Irish sponsor is a video gaming shop. I'm making this video because 1 million people have watched my videos. 1 million. That's a lot of zeros. That's way more zeros than most things in Ireland ever get seen. But I bet you the average company in Ireland will go, alright, there's people out there who are bigger than me in Ireland alone. Bear in mind, I'm specifically talking about competitive gaming in this case, because there are people with their own YouTube channels, like Vero comes to mind, who manage their content very, very well and know exactly what they are doing. Okay? But this is something we need to address. Maybe it's a service I should offer, but as I said, I'm kind of qualified to do some marketing. Maybe I should say, alright, I'll come along, I'll help you out with this, give me a bit of cash for doing it, because this is work. This is work. Shouldn't be done for free, and I'll give you a proper social media plan, and if you stick with it, you should see a percentage of growth, perhaps even a return on investment, which is what, after all, most people want. Hope that was a good answer. Another good question here, also Smash related. Smash is very big in Ireland at the moment, so this was going to happen. What do you feel the Smash scene in Ireland would be like in a few years? And you know what, Solomon, this is a great question to be asking me, because I've been here a long, long time, and you mightn't understand this if you're new enough to the scene, but circle of lifetime, I've seen what's happening to Smash happen over and over and over again. So I can tell you pretty much exactly what's going to happen to the Smash scene in Ireland. Although you have the variable of those guys who insist on playing Melee and never ever changing, so that's not the same with other games. What's going to happen is at the moment you're in a large growth expansion period. There's loads of new people who are interested, who are coming in, who are having a look, who are trying, some stay, some go. But it's all good and it's all vibrant, and you have enough people that you can run monthlies or bi-monthlies or bi-weeklies, and everything is good and everything is grand. And I have to say, with people like Ultan and Mike who are out there trying to retain and grab as many people as possible, that's really, really good, really, really strong. Keep doing that. Eventually what's going to happen is the hype for this game is going to start dying down, and this expansion is going to start shrinking. And what's going to happen at that same time too is that life is going to start kicking a lot of your players in the balls. There's going to be kids, there's going to be new jobs, there's going to be houses to pay for, degrees. All of these things are going to happen, and each one of them is going to slowly start cutting away at the edges. But you will have a core number of passionate players that do not go, that don't care what's going on. They will always be there, and those guys will sustain your scene until the next entry. And that's where the Mystic Ball thing stops working, because is Smash 4 going to replicate the mistakes of the forebears? Are the Smash 4 players going to play Smash 4, or are you going to move on to the next game? Doesn't mean you have to stop playing Smash 4. I believe I just mentioned that in another video I did, or another part of this one. I don't know how I'm going to cut it yet. So, are you going to invite these new players that with the next iteration that come in, or are you going to be all about it? Because that's what's happening with Street Fighter 4 right now. That game sustained us for 7 years. Street Fighter 5 is coming out. And we are all going to drop Street Fighter 4 initially and play Street Fighter 5. And we are all going to invite these people in, because for us, this isn't a new rodeo. This is old stuff. So this is what's in the future. You're going to, I'd say I'd give it about a year before you start noticing the crumbling at the edges. But it's important not to get scared by that. That's just life. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your game. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your scene. But it's going to be frustrating for those of you who really, really care. But it is a cycle, and it will stop. And the next game, you'll get even more, probably. It's important that we all pull together and work together and make sure that the scenes help each other during the ebbs and flows. And you know what? We're actually pretty good at that. So, nothing to worry about, but that's what's going to happen. You're going to see a dip, and then you're going to see Smash 5. That is what's going to happen.